so I'm here with another video on my large eclectic journal. I've got several videos on this, from how to make the covers, how I've selected and put together my pages. I'll leave links to them in the description box below. So today I am on with creating interactive elements for my journal using envelopes. These are just your bog standard DL envelopes. You can pick them up as cheap as chips. I dunked them in just coffee and water mixture in the summer and dried them out. Don't have to have all fancy, splatters and this. Just dunk them in the coffee. What that does is it obviously gives them this fantastically interesting colour. Because it's swelling the fibres, it makes them feel thicker as well. Okay, so what I've decided I'm going to do, I had quite a lot of these, so I'm going to have two kind of elements within each signature, and I've got 5 signatures, so 2 envelope elements per signature. So the first thing I've done is decide what kind of elements I'm going to do. So one of them is going to be an envelope flip with using a couple of envelopes, and one is just going to be some kind of page extension. So then I go through each signature one by one and I decide where they're going to go. So I've picked a page that's sturdy, like I wouldn't put it on that, it's not sturdy enough, so it would weigh it down. Picked a page that's sturdy and I go through my journal and I clip where I want them. Okay, and then I will do all of these until they're done. So there's going to be 5 of these, one for each signature, and then 5 of these, one for each signature, and I will work on those until they're done. Then I'll move on to the next thing, because it is proven that if you focus on one thing and do that rather than flitting from here to there, you're more productive because you're focused. The other benefit is that once you've done one and figured out how you want it and how you're going to design it and what you're going to put in it, then all you've got to do is repeat it on the other 4. Same as when I come to this one. I've not quite decided how it's going to work yet, but once I've figured that one out, I can just repeat the same kind of technique on the other 4. So it cuts down on brain power. So we're going to work on this one today. So what I've done in advance is all of these that are going to be double envelope ones, I've clipped them to the signatures where I want them, okay, and to decorate them I have stamped on them. So I've done it to all 5 because, like I say, I do things in stages so that they're all done. So all of these ones that are going to be flips, I've stamped. I've just got out my stamps and I have just stamped randomly all over. I've used a grey archival ink, okay. That just gives me a base background. Because I don't want to cover everything with scraps. I've got some piles of scraps here that I'm going to use that are leftovers from making these large clusters. I've got a video on this. So I'm just going to use small parts to decorate with, okay? Because I've already got this interesting background with my stamps and it looks vintage. You can add colour to them if you want, but I'm not gonna. So my idea is, I've got 2 like this and they're going to go, one's going to go there, one's going to go there. So that's going to flip open, that's going to flip up, and we're going to have some pockets in and amongst somewhere, and I'll do some sort of closure on this one as well. That's as far as I've got planned, so let's get cracking. And I am going to be using these focal large clusters. I've got a video on making these and the formula that I use. So these are going to be focal points for each of these 5 larger flips. So I've already got those. So like I say, I've done those. They're all done. I've got them all ready. Okay. I do things in batches. And then the thing is, then you see, you're going to have cohesive elements that kind of run through, and so when somebody's looking through the journal, it kind of ends up looking like things match. Not that that's essential, but that's how my brain works. I'm also going to be using some of these, which are smaller clusters. I've got a video on these as well. These are lovely, so I'm going to be using those. I made a heap of those a good few weeks ago. Not used them all, so they're going to get used. Right, so let's have a look. So I'm just going to unclip my envelopes and move my journal away and decide how we're going to have this. So I have decided that this one's going to go like that. That's going to be a flip. I've folded over the top and scored it about, I've done it about just short of 3/4 of an inch because I want a sturdy flip, and I also measured it so that this doesn't go below the bottom of my journal. So what I need to do in the first instance is I need to trim off an opening because I've sealed them all. I need to trim off an opening so that I can get things in it. Okay, so I'm just going to put it on my trimmer. Ooh, that blade's shot. That blade's shot. Absolutely shot. That's no good. Sorry, Stampin' Up trimmer. But I'm going to go with ye old Tim Holtz. Let's see if I can neaten that edge up. I don't think. There we go, that's better. That's a bit neater, not that it really matters. So that's that one. So I've now got an opening, okay? And then this one's going to go like that. I want it top loading, so I need to trim the top of that off. So let's get the trimmer out again. I don't measure this, I just take whatever sliver my trimmer will allow me to remove neatly. It's about 1/8 of an inch. Okay. So because I've already stamped on these, I don't need to stress myself too much about decorating. I can add the decorating as and when, so I can go ahead and I can construct straight away. So this is the page that I've selected. I could remove my page because I've done the elastic binding, but I'm just going to work on it. I'm not fussing about. So I'm going to ink the edges. Although they're already coffee dyed, I want those edges quite defined. Okay. I'm not too worried about laying the inside with patterned paper, but I might go back and do that at a later stage because whatever's in there is going to cover that, isn't it? If you want to strengthen the edge of your envelopes, you can use washi tape. I will probably strengthen the edge of mine with strips of scrap paper. I'm just wondering whether to do that now or later. Or I might just use some washi tape. I'll see. I've not decided fully yet. I mean, finishing touches I don't mind going back and doing at a later date. Because I am waiting on some. I ordered some stuff. Oh, goodness knows how long ago. So I'm waiting for those coming on the slow boat from China, from AliExpress. And that I want to use in this journal. So I have to wait for those to come. I've got some just eyelets and things like that. So nothing overly exciting, but they are far cheaper if you wait for them coming on a slow boat from China, from AliExpress. They are infinitely cheaper than buying them on Amazon because, you know, things are dearer on Amazon because you're paying for the, you know, for getting them next day or immediate, or they've got them in stock, whereas, you know, if you're waiting on a slow boat from China, it can be anything up to 6 weeks. But we'll see. Right, so let me have a think. I'm going to stick this one down first. So like I say, I've done about 3/4 of an inch flap at the top. And that is just merely measured by the length of my page because I don't want these protruding on the bottom. You can see these protruding at the moment, hopefully. But they will get lifted up when I fold the tabs to make them in a flip. If they protrude, they'll be getting cut off. I don't want them coming below the edge of my... That don't look terribly straight. Let me just have a look. I do want it kind of a little bit straight, if I'm honest. But I don't suppose it matters. We're not going to worry. So I'm going to glue that onto there. You could sew it on, but when you start sewing things onto pages, you've got to bear in mind that you're going to have sewing showing through the other side. So I try not to sew my elements to my pages. I'll use it as a decorative edge, but anything else I will just get glued. So I'm going to kind of do it central because I want room either side to glue, for room to glue on for my closure. Okay, I'm not too worried if it's not perfectly lined up with the top, because I don't necessarily cut my journal pages, you know, within an inch of the lives of perfection, because I don't care. Right, so then just make sure it's, so that's going to lift up. Okay, and then this one here, I think I'm going to have it, did I cut the top off? I did. I'm going to have it like that. So then I've got a pocket there, okay. This will be a pocket, and I can have a pocket there as well. So I'm going to leave the top and the side open. I'm going to just glue it on 2 sides. What I am going to do is I'm just going to nip in there and just glue down the middle, so that I've got a defined, although it's not really necessary, but I just want to do it. So I'm just going to put a bead of glue down the centre, so that I've got 2 defined areas and the items aren't slipping into each other. Okay. Right, so now I need to have a look where I want it. So when that's closed, I want this to cover that window, so that then when you open it, it's peep-oh, there's a window. Okay. I want to make sure I've got room either side, because I'm going to do a closure. So I want it about there. Okay, so I'm going to hold it. I'm going to lift that up. I'm just going to grab my pencil. Okay, I'm just going to make a little mark there and there. And then I'm going to glue the back of this just on 2 sides, so that it makes 2 pockets. Okay, now I'm not going to be making this into an all singing, all dancing, 10 billion pockets from an envelope. It's just going to be an interactive flip, because I don't need to, the journal's so large, there's going to be so much room to put things, that I don't need to do a kind of funky design with 10 million pockets per envelope. It's just not necessary. Okay, although I have got videos on such things in my list if you go and have a look. So now what I want to do is create my closure. Where's my, I did have a piece of, here we go. So I've got this here. Let me just think how I want it. So I've got just this piece of cardstock printed on with one of my backgrounds, and I've cut it to 2 inches, because I know that these tag punches that I've got take 2 inches for the widest. So I'm going to slide it in. Is it open? Don't want to go in for some reason. Ah, there we go. Slide it in. Now on this punch, I know you need to make sure you've got it central, or it don't punch right. It drives me batter. Okay, I'm going to punch that end, and then I'm going to punch the other end. I'm not going to use the whole of this. It's going to get trimmed. It's not going to be a wraparound like a belly band. I'm just... so let me just... I will put eyelets in here as well. In fact, I better do that now, because it will be difficult to do once it's glued into the book. So let me just find where my eyelets are. So you can have awesome fun with envelopes. You know, if you can use some recycled ones, that's even better. I didn't have any the right size. All of my recycled envelopes, no, they're not, are too big for this. They are the larger size. Wrong tin. That's what you do when you get all organised. You forget where stuff are. There we go. Right, so I'm having vintage style. You know, the bronze tone ones in this. Hopefully, when that slow boat comes, I'll have some more. So I'm going to use my crocodile. Okay, and I'm just going to set these. And then I'm going to cut it to size. Decide what I'm having and cut it to size. Okay. I'm all fingers and thumbs with these things. I'm shocking. Rightio. Come on, get in. My hand-eye coordination's shocking. I could never be like a darts player or a snooker player. I'd never win out. Shocking, that's not very tight. Let's just give that another squeeze. There we go, that's better. Right, so that's that part done. So now we need to assess how long I want them. So let's have a think. I want them to go to about there. Okay, so what does that measure? Right, so I want them about 2.5 inches each side. Let me just, yeah. 2.5. Okay, where does 2.5 take me on? That side. 2.5, yeah, because I want to leave a little gap in the middle. So about 2.5. I'm just going to have to, it's not going to give me a straight edge, is it? Hold on, let me have a look. Yeah, I'll manage. Go to the furthest point, 2.5. 2.5, I need something to anchor it down with, so it wants to be 3. I need to add 1/2 inch on to fold it over. Yeah, that's that bit. Then I'll just grab my scoreboard. No idea if you can see what I'm doing, because I can't see my desk because the light's blaring. It's winter. Well, it's autumn. For me, there's 2 seasons. Summer and coldness. That's not cut very straight, has it? That's not very good, Tim Holtz. Can't blame Tim, it's my fault. I can't cut straight. Let's have a look. 3. Oh, it don't matter if it's a bit wonky. Don't matter. Let's just do as best. So I want about 1/2 inch. As long as my score's straight, it doesn't matter if that bit's wonky. Doesn't matter. Things don't have to be perfect. That's why I love journaling, because I can't do anything perfect. Just ink that because I'm a fussy Anna. Ink that. Ink that. Even though nobody's going to see it, I just know it's there. It's a little bit like ironing the sleeves of a shirt. Nobody's going to see them, but... Right. If you don't do it, I don't know. Probably nothing will happen. It don't matter. I'm just a psycho. Right, so... Hopefully. So that should go there, like that. Okay, I want it down there, I think. And then this one will go at the other side. And let me just check the sizing of it. Okay. Right at the edge of the paper. I should have glued that underneath, really. I wonder if I can just lift it up and just sneak it in. Oh, it's glued. It's well and truly glued. Right, okay. So, about there. That looks all right. Okay, so let's get this one on. So it's going to go right up against the edge of the pages, that. Let me just lift my page up. I use the edge of my page as a guide, the bottom of my envelope for straightness, although, you know, it doesn't matter. And then I will glue this one. And these will get tied with baker's twine, and that will keep the whole thing closed and orderly. Okay, so baker's twine. Now, do I have red or black? Because I do like red in my journals. I really do. We'll use black. I think we will. Or shall we use red? What's in there? I might have to think about that a bit longer. I might have to dwell on that, you know, while I'm overthinking in bed at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm thinking, what colour shall I have my twine? Because, you know, third world problems. We're lucky, aren't we, when that's all that we've got to worry about. So let me just cut a piece. And then I will have to just run it through my distressing to just take the edge of that whiteness off so it's not glaring at me, not winking at me. Okay, and then that obviously will go through there and it will tie and it will keep all of this closed. Right, now let's start decorating. Okay, so I know I want this on. Get off. This is going to go here so that when these are open, you've got some decoration. Or shall I have it further up there, but then you can't see the window? But I'm bothered. Quite like it there like that so that the butterfly is just at the top. I'm not bothered if you can't see all the window. You can see some of it. All right, so let's get that on. Let's not mess about. And the good thing about these clusters is they're kind of generic, so that it fit with any theme. And I'm liking that idea more and more, and I try and design some of my digital designs as kind of generic so that they'll fit in with any theme. Because, you know, if you buy a digital and it's a set theme, you know, if it's just autumn or it's just Christmas, then that's the only time you can really. Well, I don't suppose. There we go. So then when that's closed, you've got that butterfly there in the top. Okay, so I'll decorate that. So we've got this flip here. Right, so now I'm going to add one of my clusters and that's going to flip there. Okay, and that will just slip just inside where this belly band is, and it will keep everything. It's not a belly band, it's a closure. It will keep everything closed so that nothing's flipping about and flapping about when you're turning the page. And then you have to undo everything to see the interesting elements. Right, so the back of here, I'm waffling. I need something to make a flip. Now let's have a look what we've got on my desk that I can use with my hinge out of that. That's actually quite thick. So I want my hinge to be just slightly, oh, for God's sake, I hate when that happens. Slightly smaller than my element so that it doesn't show. So what, 3 1/4? 3 1/4, let me have a think. 3 1/4. So 3 1/4 by, what? Don't know. 3 1/4 by, I'll use that bit. Let me think how thick I want it. Don't think it needs to be more than about 1 inch, really, does it? I'm going to do it just over 1 inch. I'm going to do 1 1/4 inches, just to be on the safe side. Let's see if I can cut straight on this trimmer. So I've got the Tim Holtz trimmer. I treated myself to it last month. I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with it, I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm not doing a big, massive review on it at the moment. I've got better things to do. 3 1/4. I'm busy. I'm a busy girl. 3 1/4. Okay, I'll save that because that'll make another hinge. So this music page is quite sturdy. I don't know what GSM it is, but it's vintage but it's quite sturdy. So then all I'm going to do is fold it in half. I'm going to ink it up because I'm a psycho. Even though nobody cares. Nobody's going to see it. But I might end up selling this journal, and so I like to put, you know, 150% into what I make, because when people are spending money on things, you know, it's only right and proper to do it to the best that you can. Okay, we're waffling. Right, so let's get this glued on here. And what I'll do is I'll do this basic process, on all 5 of these type of flips. Then I will go and I will decide if I want to add further decoration. So I'm going to add this as close to the top as I can, because if you have it too low down, then when you're folding, when you're flipping it up, this will get caught on your page. But this is quite flexible, so it's fine. If it was a straight edge, I'd have it right to the top. I'm going to have it up as far as I can. Okay. Far as I can. There we go. And even when you look at that, it's interesting. You could put washi tape over it or whatever if it bothers you. That don't bother me. That does not bother me in the slightest. Right, so now I'm going to glue the back side of the hinge. Don't forget, you can turn anything into a flip by just adding a paper hinge. Don't have to be complicated. Right, so now I want to have this positioned on there, central, but I want it to be low down enough for these, when these are shut, to be holding it. Otherwise, it's pointless having them. Yeah? Right. So we'll get that down. And then I might add like washi tape at the top there, or I might just leave it. I go through and I add what I call fine details at the end, using my scraps. And then when I've done the journal, the scraps go in the bin. Right, so now we've got a flip there. Okay. That's going to take a while to dry because it's baking paper, but it will dry. Absolutely will dry. Okay, so what I could do is add a little pocket there if I wanted and put some little ephemera in. Okay, and I could put another little pocket there if I wanted, but not too much because I don't want my journal to be too bulky. So all I'm going to do for now, to keep the video a little bit shorter, is I'm going to fill it with stuff, and then I'll let you go about your business. Right, so here's my pile of tags I've already cut. Keep your eyes out for a collection that I've got coming up, which is going to help you make your tags far easier. Right, so let's have a think. How many tags can we get in here? So I'm going to have a little tag in there, like that. And I'm going to have another little tag in there, like that. Okay, then that flips open. They're interesting on the back. I'm put a little pocket there later, and then in these pockets, will I fit one of them? One of them. What's that? I don't know what that is. No, don't want that. Right, okay. So I should be able to fit one of these large layaway tags in. Yep. So one of those and maybe one of these. I might change what I put in these pockets. So that's the basics of it. And then obviously that flips up. You've got another pocket here. And we've got another pocket here. Okay. And then obviously you could put a little tuck spot there, or you could put just a focal point, or I'm not sure. I might probably put a little pocket. When I come round to making my smaller ephemera, I'll put some smaller ephemera in there. So we could have a pocket there, pocket there. We've got a pocket there, pocket there, pocket there. It's full of them. Pocket there. Yeah. Pocket there. I'm not going to put a pocket there because I don't want too much bulk. I'm going to leave that as it is, as just an interesting flip. What I just might do there is put a small journaling card or a small writing spot. Okay. And then that will go like that. Where's my bit of string? Where's my bit of string that I took time to ink? I've lost it. Here it is. Okay, am I still in shot? I've no idea. My camera, for some reason, has started jiggling because I moved my phone holder, and I don't know if the threads in the screws that keep it tight are going or what, but it started jiggling and it never used to. Either that or my desk needs like some scrap card under the legs to make it more sturdy. And then that will go like so. Tie it in a knot, and that will keep those closed. Okay. And then, excuse me, I'm going to use one of the little clips that Mandy Reid sent me. So she sent me these little mini clips. I think they're awesome. So I might just put one just there for now, just as a little decoration, because I'm going to be like, I'm not putting loads in because I don't want to use them all. It'd be nice just pinned on the side there, look. Oh, I forgot this one's got a pocket in there as well, look. forgot about that. So there's a pocket in there as well. In there, like that. Oh, I could have that in there like that, couldn't I? Oh, there we go. Might trim that down a bit. Shall we trim it down? Let's trim it down. Let's trim it down and just trim these numbers off, and then I can use these numbers and put them up there or something. Yeah, I'll just trim this down a little bit. I forgot there was a pocket in the back of there. Little pocket in the back of there. Yeah, I'll put my little clipper on there, and there we go. We're good to go. Let's use this up somewhere whilst we've got it. It will go, yeah, it can go there. It'll fit, or it could go down here like that. There, I like numbers in the centre. I quite like it there actually. I don't know if I want it up there. I think I want something floor, like some washi tape up there. So I'm just going to use this little bit that I've cut off. And do I want it to? I'll have it to this side because I've got all of these to that side. And I like things to be symmetrical. I could even add another butterfly on there. I don't know if I've got any. I've got these, but they don't go. So I'll put a eyelet in that when the slow boat from China arrives. And we're good to go. Hold on a minute, that's not... I've not cut that straight, and that is bugging me. There we go. That's better. Not that things have to be perfect, but you know, in Crazy Amanda Land, they kind of do. So that's one of the elements done already. So, you know, I hope that gives you some inspiration, and that page will all turn nicely without things flipping and flopping all over the place and being a pain in the you-know-what, because it's all held together nicely by this little element here. But then when whoever gets it, opens it, they've got this flips up, there's a pocket there, there's pockets there, you flip it up, you've got journaling space. It's a fantastic interactive page. So I hope it gives you some ideas and you'll go away and create one for yourself. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.